Brian Shaw versus Leonidas Arkona, East versus West 16 super match, super heavyweight. Is this a possible match they are planning to introduce to us when the event gets called? Well, I'll talk about that now. So, as we all know, Brian Shaw beat Eddie Hall at his last event, but has Leonidas proved himself strong enough to beat Brian Shaw, or is he even worthy to compete with him? Well, I think the answer is he is worthy to compete with him. He has much more experience and a lot more technical knowledge than Brian Shaw, so I think that gives Leonidas the big advantage coming into this match. The only thing I'll give Brian Shaw is just pure strength, because from the match we saw, Brian Shaw's technique was not that good. I think Eddie's Hall technique was a lot better than Brian Shaw's, but Brian was just stronger, and that's why he won. Now, another fact is Leonidas is just a smaller man. He is a lot smaller than Devon, who is smaller than Brian Shaw, not just in pure height and size, but in arm length as well. As you can see, his arm is in a lot lower position, so that gives Brian Shaw a massive advantage, just like the Eddie Hall match. He has that reach advantage, height advantage, hand size advantage. All things go in his favor in that kind of mindset of the body and body proportions. So obviously Leonidas has more experience, but with the amount of time it's going to take for East versus West 16 to start, I think Brian Shaw will have plenty of time to improve enough to be able to put himself on Leonidas's level with technique wise, compared to what he was like against Eddie Hall, which was not very good. So I think Brian Shaw will come out with a win if they have a match at East versus West 16. I think Brian Shaw is just too big and strong for Leonidas. I think it will take a very experienced super heavyweight to beat Brian Shaw. I don't think any sort of amateur is going to ever beat Brian Shaw, especially one that's nowhere near his weight class. So I think Brian Shaw, after this event, could easily step his game up, say the face AW Derek. I think that would be a good match after Leonidas match, because Derek has not had very good matches recently. He's always slipped back down after a win. I think Derek's level is just not at the extreme professional level. I think he's just still under it, and I think that would be a really good match for Brian Shaw and Derek to have. And Derek is roughly around the same height as Brian Shaw, but his arms are smaller, and I think that would be a good match to have. Derek, who is a hook puller, Brian Shaw, who will obviously, I think, go outside, stay out of the straps. It would be a hard match for Derek to try to win, since Derek is obviously a strap puller, and also Brian Shaw would obviously be strong in a strap as well. So I think that should be a new super match to happen after Leonidas if they get this on the next event. I also think it would be a good opportunity for Derek to show where his level actually stands, and just not stand behind his talk of beating Levin one day, which he used to claim he would beat Levin in a few years, which is obviously never going to happen. I think it's just too big of a gap. I think he's right under the level of Matt Mask. I don't think he's right there yet. A Matt Mask is not on that higher tier of professionals. I think Derek needs to prove himself, and I think against Brian Shaw, that would be a good match to prove himself if he's strong enough. Obviously, if he loses, then that's his hype done, and he needs to fall back and really focus on what he needs to learn and how he could improve himself. And it would also be, if Brian Shaw loses, it means Brian Shaw actually has a goal to achieve now, and he knows exactly where his level is as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Give me your opinions in the comment section below. Peace out.